Alright guys, Agne here, and today we're going to get into the new ant, the black velvet. Let's get right into it. Alright guys, so like I said in the little intro, we're going to get into the new ant that just released, Black Velvet. Before we get into that, usual shenanigans, I'll make it short. This video is sponsored by AppCoins. We're using my code AGNATA. You can get anywhere from 5 to 65% off all in-game purchases. You've heard this in many of my videos, so I'm not going to go through the entire spiel. If you want to know how to do this, a full description of how to do so will be down in the comments down below. Also down in the comments down below is a link to the Discord. And where you can go and ask questions, and it's just a good community for multiple games. And a great way to be able to help me out is if you hit that like and subscribe and comment. There's still 69% of people that watch my content regularly that do not hit that like or subscribe. So it really just helps me out in the algorithm. And because I've been gone a little bit, it helps out even more because life got crazy, so I haven't been able to put out videos for you guys. I'm sorry. But we're back and we're going to be able to do that. Alright, so we'll get into it. So this Black Velvet ant is meant for the front row. We'll go ahead and go take a look at it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to afford to do it because I have a lot of things going on in my life right now. But we'll go through it. Alright, so like always, we're going to ignore skill 1, 3, 4, and 6 because they're all basically all the same between all of the different ants. Okay, so we'll get into skill 2. It's a pre-combat skill, effective range of 5. During the battle, when this special ant is in the front line, the squad gains all damage buffs from our backline squad. Each time the front line squad deals damage, our backline squad has a 70% chance to follow up with an attack that deals 150% damage to the same target. That's pretty insane. So essentially it allows your backline, so like a Silver Saharan or whatever you happen to have in your backline, to essentially have a counter attack at any given time. So anytime that this ant procs, it gets to proc on top of the damage that it's already doing on top of it. So that's pretty broken, to be honest. So yes, very good. It's very good all the way around, whether PvE or PvP, just for that skill alone. All right, then we'll get into the next one. 80% chance to deal 410 damage plus special ant level times 1%. So you're looking at 460%. Damage to an enemy squad with the lowest power, then reduce the damage taken from its own squad by 20% for 2 rounds, which is stackable. For the first 2 rounds, the skill has a 100% trigger rate. Okay, so that's a lot of word salad in there. So basically what it's saying is that not only does it do damage, but also it acts as a damage reduction for the rest of your squad. So essentially that their squad's going to be doing 20% damage, less damage for the first 2 rounds. And then after that, it still does have a chance to proc. Pretty effective, and that's good for a front line because you do want survivability in your front line, not just a damage boosting. So having that extra survivability is a very good thing to have. All right, then we got health. Health is always important to shooters, just as much as attack, so that's a good thing. All right, in the second, fourth, and sixth rounds, convert 20% damage dealt by its squad into its squad power, and grants 40% of the effect to our backline squad. And deals 450% plus special ant level 1%, so 510% damage to all enemy squads at the end of the round. That's, again, pretty crazy. So again, it's boosting the back line, so it's going to be putting an additional 20% of the damage dealt into your backline's power in its own skill attack. So that's pretty effective. Plus, I mean, on top of it doing, I misspoke a minute ago. On top of it doing 500% damage on top of it, that's a very powerful attack. So what do I think overall of this ant? I think it's a very good ant, honestly. It does allow for us to be able to shift back to a pure shooter lineup instead of having a guard shooter. So I think that's nice. For me personally, I would have gotten this if I could, but I unfortunately can't. But it does have some limitations. You really do want a high level Saharan silver as your backline, which I unfortunately can't seem to get a fucking dupe no matter how hard I try. Either that or you want something else that's pretty high powered. I mean, you could even run like an Emerald Jewel right now. So as far as lineups that are possible with this, you got a few options. You could run with like a Black Velvet from like a Clara Emerald Jewel, but the best is honestly going to be what they suggested, which is the Black Velvet Emerald Jewel, and it's hard and silver. That'll give you the most bang for your buck, but like I said, it does require kind of a high level Sahara and silver for it to really be really effective. It's definitely going to be something that when you're facing, you're going to have to kill off that front line really quickly to have the survivability, but it also lets the attacker or you get back to the true nature of shooters and to be a glass cannon. As far as PvE, it's probably going to bump up quite a bit as far as your damage just because of that boost to your back line, which means that for us pay-to-win people on shooter day can really stop using the Crimson Pearl and probably put this in for like Pangolin and shit like that, and for Groundhog. But alright guys, that's all I got for you today. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment, leave a like, and we'll see you in the next one. Agnes out.